Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tim Lankford, and I welcome you here at the beautiful Friday on our campus here in Noblesville, Indiana, here at Gordon Marketing. I thought that the still frame that you see on your computer screen might be a perfect place to stop and to officially begin our conference call. The video that you just saw will be where we will be taking many of our agents and their guests on an all expense paid trip to Playa del Carmen in Mexico here in about 6 or 8 weeks. And excited to be able to share with you. And we've got already so many agents well on track to do over 60,000 issue paid dollars in the year of 2016 to go to Grand Cayman with us in the spring of 2017. This call, as I share with you, is a little bit more of our celebration call. Every Tuesday is our training webinar, and don't want to miss this next Tuesday. If you are at all contemplating on creating a lead program, we will be going over in fine details of how that you can get that 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 leads per week, and where you want to be able to get those leads, the type of leads you want to be going after, what to do with those leads when you have them. We'll be going over all those details a couple days from now, just on Tuesday, I believe. What is that, the 23rd of February? So make sure that you'll see an email out probably tomorrow or Monday for that. But today being a little bit more of a celebration, we want to talk about some of the achievements from our agents in the field, folks who have not only been able to protect people's what we call safe money, so folks who have taken money out of the market that is so volatile and just seems to be losing and losing more right now, and put it into a product that will be guaranteed not to lose. In the history of annuities, the way that we build an annuity, we make sure we're the carrier that will protect that money, give them a fair return, a whole lot better than a CD or in the bank, but most importantly, they don't lose what they have, the principal. And I have an incredibly, I definitely, there's certain things I feel very honored to do. When you connect to this call or to our Tuesday webinar, I feel very honored that you're taking time out, and that I count as crucially important. That I want to make sure to be able to pour into you as much as I can. And personally, on a very personal note, if you know me, or if we've had a conversation, or you've heard me on the call before, then you know the love of my life is my personal walk with Jesus Christ. Right behind that is my love of my life that I get to share with you a little bit this morning. I'm going to be able to let you guys catch a little glimpse of what it's hard to be at Gordon Marketing, or to be with other families when I have such a phenomenal bride at home. Beth and I will be sharing our 18th wedding anniversary this coming August. So to do our leaderboards this week, leaderboards that will be going over both the annuities that I was just talking about, and also life production. So agents who are on our mortgage protection team. Now the annuities, that's just agents who are part of Gordon Marketing. More specifically, the names that you'll hear talking about life producers, and that's everything from single premium whole life to index universal whole life to our core product of how you can protect a mortgage with a family that you're sitting with, is simplified issue term. So, but a combination of all of those things will be what my lovely bride, my second love of my life, will be sharing with you. And Beth, are you with us? Do you hear me?
I do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, if you would be so kind to share our leaderboards this week, we'll let you take over.
Okay, we're going to start with the top annuity producers for the third week of February. And tied at number 6, we've got Ronald K., one annuity for $100,000, and Charles Fisher, one annuity for $100,000. Number 5, Danielle Byrne, two annuities, $123,871. Number 4, Ricardo Viator, one annuity for $126,267. Number 3, James DeWitt with two annuities for $158,000. Up to number 2, William Kelly, one annuity for $200,774. And number 1 agent producer for the third week of February for annuities is John Kaler, 3 annuities for $433,177. $161. Now moving to the long list of top life producers for the third week of February. We're going to start down at number 25. Hopefully I'll pronounce everybody's name pretty close to the way it's supposed to be. Number 25, we've got Christopher Reich. One application for $1,041. Number 24, Carl Messmore. One application for $1,204. 23, number 23, Kenneth George. Two applications for $1,256. Number 22, Andrew Kochanowski. Sorry about that. One application for $1,577. Number 21, R.L. Jones. Two applications, $1,638. Number 20, Jonathan Acevedo. One application, $1,716. Number 19, Doug Boyd. Five applications, $1,926. Number 18, Josh Sivak. Three applications for $2,032. Number 17, Robin Armstrong. Two applications, $2,219. Number 16, Devin Lehman. One application, $2,645. Number 15, Paul St. Laurent. Seven applications, $2,649. Number 14, George McCowan. Two applications, $2,787. Number 13, Ginger Barnes. Six applications, $2,856. Number 12, Greg Greenwalt. Three applications, $2,969. Number 11, Tim Lankford. Two applications, $3,060. Number 10, moving into the top 10 here, Jesse Teague. 10 applications for $3,706. Number 9, Paul Brinson. Three applications, $4,140. Number 8, Charles Fisher. Five applications, $4,217. Number 7, Matthew Dieter. Three applications, $4,254. Number 6, Andre Dane. Six applications, $4,314. Number 5, Greg Stanley. Five applications, $7,380. Number 4, Miles McWilliams. Two applications, $8,034. Now the top 3 are all over $10,000 here. Number 3, Talia Goldsmith. Six applications, $13,815. And number 2, Alexander Joyce. 32 applications for $16,631. And the top life producer for the third week of February is Kevin Bianchi. 21 applications, $19,110. And that is the list for the third week of February.
Fantastic, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You guys can understand why I feel like an incredibly, I don't say it lightly. Whenever somebody asks me how I am doing, I am often answering just absolutely from my heart, saying blessed more than I deserve. Incredible opportunity that the Gordons have given me to be able to share with you every Tuesday, every Friday, and oftentimes through emails and text messages and phone calls. I feel incredibly blessed to that God has given me the opportunity to be able to pour into your life. And then when I leave my friends and my brothers and sisters here at Gordon, think of the home I'm going to. I've got two phenomenal ladies, my wife and my 9-year-old daughter. We had a phenomenal Saturday. I took off last Saturday and only got in 2 applications, but with 3 visits and helped 2 families. and but had a daddy-daughter dance to go to last Saturday night, and I have another daddy-daughter dance to go to tomorrow night. So another shortened week of sales. Guys, if you will take time to plan out your life, just like our callers, or excuse me, just like our agent today, he has taken time to develop a lifestyle. It's really hard to create a lifestyle when you're living paycheck to paycheck. I say all of what I just said in the last, 2 minutes of that diatribe was that I am incredibly blessed because I've taken time to create a lifestyle, to be able to pour into others, and God will bless you. I absolutely, it's a natural law that He's created. If you will pour into others, you will go out beyond your comfort zone. You'll get on the phone, you go help other people, other persons who have even asked you to, if you're on a lead program or not. But if you will pour into other people, I promise you, you can create an incredible lifestyle. And it's not got to be working 60, 80, 90 hours a week. You don't have to do that in this life business. And I say life because it's so much more than just mortgage protection. It's IUSO, single premium whole life, annuities. Our guest speaker this morning, our guest agent, has proven that with his annuity production, with his life production. Josh is not only, he and Lena and their two beautiful children are not only very dear friends of mine, as we've been friends now for goodness, 7 or 8 years. They are also believers, as well as people who, both of them, will go out and make a difference in other people's lives. They make it happen. Josh, thank you for taking up your time and being on our phone call. I'm just going to turn it over to you, let you maybe share from your heart, tell other folks why you're in this business, how long you've been in this business, and maybe some of your recent accomplishments of saying just what this business has done for you and Lena. Josh, I have unmuted your mic. I'm hoping that you can hear me, but I will call you if I need to. Um,
Can you hear me?
oh, we can hear you. Hey, my friend, how are you this morning after our third or fourth time spoken already?
Well, I'm assuming everybody else can hear me, which is good. So let's go ahead. It's about I don't know, quarter after 11 here on the East Coast. So let's hit it off hard. Try to fit as much as possible in this time frame we got. But yeah, my name's Joshua Sedek. I live down here in Virginia Beach, and I'm blessed and thankful that I get asked to go ahead and pass on everything I've learned from others, pass it on to me, see if I can go ahead and help anybody else out. And I guess I don't know. I guess one of the biggest things we can start off with is consistency. That to me is probably one of the biggest keys of success in what we do. And when I say consistency, I'm not talking about, you know, production or anything else that you really can't control. Your consistency is physically what you can control, which is your activity. You know, you making dials, you calling, you setting appointments. You can't control if someone's going to be home or not, or if they're going to pick up the phone and you call them. But you being consistent on your work ethic, your work week. I mean, I know week in, week out, basically know for the rest of the year what my work week is going to be like. They don't change. I dial on Mondays. Appointments for Tuesday and Wednesday. I dial a little bit more Wednesday. Then for Thursday, occasionally I work Friday. Preferably I'll take 3 days off for the weekend. It just boils down to that week. But your consistency is what's going to pay you the dividends of the production for the year. You're going to have your down weeks. You're going to have your up weeks. If anybody was listening to that, the numbers being announced, you see my numbers. And I don't know, Tim, I was actually amazed. You see how many people are in the 2,000? I mean, that looked like it was the consensus of the top 25. Like half of the people did at least 2,000 or was in between 2 and 3, which is very, very. Oh yeah, and that's like extraordinary news because you guys are basically give or take 2,000. And you guys are probably thinking to yourself, well, what's going to take me to that next level? Maybe get me up to 15 or 20, and you're already there, just don't know it yet. I mean, all it is changing just a little bit, maybe seeing 2 to 4 more appointments. But once you get the blueprint down on what it takes for you to write X amount of production, whether it's 2,000, 1,000, 3,000, whatever it is, now you know what it takes, and we can peak it to get you even more. It could be lead flow. You're only taking up 5 leads or 10 leads or writing 2. You know, that's easy math. Let's go ahead, double that, and get you up to 4. But that's all it takes is just minor things, but your consistency, you doing the same thing week in, week out. Why are everybody like Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Hayden, why are all these phenomenal athletes as good as they are is because every single week they keep on doing the same thing. They don't try to change up anything. They just keep on doing it repeatedly, and that's what we have to do in our industry. If you consistently keep doing it, the production, the results, they're going to come.
Hey, Josh.
And
Josh,
yeah.
I'm going to call you on your cell phone because your mic is breaking up pretty badly. Let's try to do it on our cell phone, okay?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Maybe go ahead and click off the webinar, Josh, and let's just keep you on the cell phone.
Hang on 1 second. Okay, I think I'm off.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Oh, much
There we
better,
go.
much better. Thank you.
All right, but yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing for me is the consistency. And I know a lot of folks out there, you're probably just trying to get to that next level, and I can tell you right now, it's not going to take much. What took me to my next level, what took me from, a 60, a 70, or 80,000 a year producer to that, doubling to 150, 200, 300, and so forth. All it took for that big jump in the beginning was a consistent lead order. Week in, week out, I got leads. I had it on autopilot. I had it on the automatic draft that we, sell to people to pay their monthly payment. That's what I was on for my leads. And whether I was on vacation or not, I got leads, and each week I had to pay for them. In our industry, we don't have a boss. We don't have someone telling us what we have to do. We don't have a clock we have to punch. We don't get paid just to show up. We get paid for a result. Easiest way to create your result is to make yourself work. The easiest way to make yourself work is to get in debt on leads. Now, granted, I'm not saying get in debt off of them, but if you're getting 10 leads a week, 20 leads a week, whatever it is, you're putting money up for that week in, week out. It's going to force you to work, and that's where you're going to get consistent and get your results. That was the one thing that took me literally overnight from a 60 to 80 to 156 the following year, just getting on a consistent weekly lead order. Now, I'm not, you still there, Tim?
Sure am. I'm letting you go. Could you because I've been sharing with everybody the kind of numbers that you're doing. The 34,000 last month. You're on track to do 40,000 this month. Let's even get some hard numbers out to everyone. Let them know how many leads you're getting per week.
Right. And if you all are like me, I'm a big fan of numbers. You guys are probably scratching your head. Hang on a second. He did 2,000 on the leaderboard. How the heck are you going to do 40? And this is where you're consistently doing the same thing week in, week out. It's going to work itself out no matter what. It always does. You can have a horrible week. The following week's going to be a boom. So my productions, give or take a few days off from the leaderboards, but the 2,000 was my second week. My first week I did a little bit over 7,000, so I gave it 9 for the first 2 weeks. This week, give or take, I'm just north of 22,000. So me having a bad week has caught up drastically this week. So that's how I'm on track to hit the 40. My goal each month is to do between 33 and 34. My goal for the year is 400,000. So that's what I'm tracking on. That's what I want to hit. And it's just, again, off the lead. How many leads I get? I'll be honest, it fluctuates per county. Whatever comes in for the week in those counties, I get them. And I would say on a weekly basis, it's between 10 and 15, especially right now. The mailings, they're just starting to pick up again after the holidays and the cold season. So it's probably going to start surpassing 20 here very soon. And once that happens, it's going to be a huge difference. But is that more or less what you wanted me to hit on, or you want me to be a little more precise?
It was, and maybe even to go to Kathy Robinson's asking about repeating, because of our difficulty with some of the audio, what your schedule looks like. I know you're typically calling with your team on Monday to set up what Tuesday and Wednesday, and then maybe what your Thursday and Friday, Saturday looks like.
Sure, we'll do. So it's going to be repeated. Apologize if you guys picked up some of it, but my biggest thing is consistency. Like I said earlier, I know what my whole year is going to be drawn out at. I know Mondays I always will be dialing. That won't change. I'm a dial all day Monday. We do training in the afternoon, and then we dial the rest of the day. I book for pretty much all day Tuesday and half of Wednesday. Wednesday evening, I try to get back on the phones again, and I try to fill up Thursday. Occasionally, I will work Fridays. However, I prefer to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I'd rather be with my family. I work when I need to. Like, for instance, this Saturday, I've got 2 people. They're already done deals or referrals, so they can't see me any other day but Saturday. So I'm going to go see them, but it's going to take up maybe 2 or 3 hours of my day. So I don't mind doing that. But you can't let someone else dictate your schedule. Once you start doing that and you start running one appointment here, one appointment there, you're going to feel like you're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Trust me on that. That is one of the hardest things for you to break in the beginning. You've got to dictate when people are going to see you. I rarely ever will work outside of my schedule. It's Monday through Thursday, occasionally on Friday. I try my best to get weekends off. There might be once in a blue moon, I will work it, but I'm basically working it because you're going to do business with me. I'm not going to just come out there for you not to do anything. It's my personal day. I even tell people that it's my day off. So, just kind of give you like a heads up. I'm coming out there on my day off. So if you don't do business, I'm going to probably say something like, day off. I told you that. But it's you can't, like, once say you see somebody Monday, you call someone and say, oh, Monday's my best day. I don't see anybody on Monday. I really don't care what they tell me. They can say, I have a check in hand. I want a $300 a month policy. Can you come Monday? My answer is going to be no. Monday is my dial day. I make more money on the phone than I do running appointments. My production is based off of Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what I get from those days is because of the work I put in on Monday. So nothing will ever interfere with that. I don't care what pops up, I will be on the phone. And you have to hold your calendar, your schedule, as closely, as tight as possible to make sure nothing interferes with that. Because now, if you make an excuse one time to not work Monday or throw something else into it, it's going to make it way, way too easy in the future for something smaller to come up that you're going to do the same thing for. And a lot of people in the industry do feel burned out because they'll run one appointment on Monday, one appointment on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday. So even though they may only see 5 people for the week, they're going to feel like they worked the whole week when you can go out there and see 8 or 10 in one day and accomplish more than they do. So you have to make sure you do your scheduling correctly. Once you start throwing it off, that's where it gets difficult. I'm assuming there's probably more questions, Tim, or you just want me to keep on rolling?
Keep on rolling. I'm answering most of them. We've got some folks wondering about, how many you're closing and per week, but keep on going. I'll kind of just because I
Sure.
intimately know your business, I'll keep going while you're sharing.
Sure, we do. And a lot of it, I mean, I'm not a stud. I'm not a 100% closer. I think this week I closed 70%, give or take. On average, I'm probably between 60 and 65. Some weeks I hit 100. Some weeks, like the week I did 2,000, I did horrible that week. So you're not going to help people. I go into each week fully understanding I'm going to see somebody that I'm not going to help. But I will outwork most people, though. And I'm not talking about hours, by all means. I do not, probably 35, 40 hours tops is what I put in a week. I'm talking about when I'm working, I am working. I will, for that time frame, I work harder than most people work harder. And I'm not trying to compare any work ethics here. I'm just saying I just know I work harder. And you just have to make sure when you're working, you're working. And I know that going into the week, I know I'm not going to help everybody, but I'll still try to see 15 people. I want to see 50 people a month. Because I know if I see 50 people a month, so I close on average, let's say 65%, you're talking 30 plus applications. I also try to get I like to average 1 app per appointment. Whether I sell them or not, I still want to average 1 app per appointment. I think this week, I don't know, I saw 10, but I only got 7 apps out of it. Or sorry, I saw 11 and got 8 apps out of it. But I like to try to average out 1. And one of my mentors in the past says you can't beat the numbers. The numbers can't beat you. So if you just play the numbers, weigh it in your favor, weigh the appointments, get, average 10 appointments a week, average 15 appointments a week. I guarantee you, if you're averaging 15 appointments a week and even sitting on 10 of them, you're going to sell half of them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. On average, you will sell half of them because half the people for mortgage protection, you just have to show up, explain how it works, and work with them to help them apply for it. That is it. So you're going to do it, but you just have to put the effort and put the time and set the appointments and go from there.
Kathy is asking a good question about when do you consider a lead is dead?
Now, there's 2 different scenarios on this one. One scenario I'm going to describe as an insurance agent, and that's all they are. They have no agency. They're not, they don't have a team. It's just them selling. In that scenario, that lead is not dead till you basically hear them tell you it's dead or they say no. If they don't pick up the phone and you've been calling them for weeks, months, you drive out of the house, you put sticky notes on the door, you knock on it, until they tell you no, that lead should still be good. Now, on the flip side of it, if you are building an agency, building a team, I'm fortunate enough to have people locally to me. And with my lead flow coming in as high as it does, and again, this also counts for agents. If you have a big enough lead flow, that lead maybe get older quicker, or you might put it into a separate pile where you call occasionally. But with my lead flow being where it is, usually after 2 weeks or so, I can't take the time to go back and see people again. So at that time frame, I pass that on to one of my agents. And they're the ones who will door knock people, or, they'll follow up with it. Do they get sales off of it? Absolutely. A lot of my folks love it because it's a free lead to them. It's not that old. It's 2 to 4 weeks at the most for them. And they'll still sell them. It's just because I can't get a hold of them. And you never know. I could have called them at a bad time. They may recognize my number. And it's like, okay, we don't know who this is. I'm not going to pick up. I call people. I'll call them 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'll call them 2, 3, 4 times in a row. I'll call them. I do my best. I want to get that answer. I want to get that yes or no. Because I want to make sure once I get the no, I'm like, okay, good, move on. But again, a lot of it, Kathy, it depends on how many leads you're getting. If you're getting 5 leads a week, And then you don't want that lead to be dead until you hear them say no to you. Even at that point, they say no to you on the phone, you may want to follow back up with them in a week or two. I can't tell you how many people that I forgot to put a note on my lead that they told me they weren't interested, and I called them back later on, and they let me come out there and I sold them. I even had a person once call me, I talked to them, they canceled the appointment. I messed up who it was, and I saw them and didn't see the other person. After I sold them their policy, I looked at the name, and I was like, were you the one that called me? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I actually erased someone else on my calendar. She goes, oh, it's okay. She's like, I didn't think I was going to be home today. So just because they say it does not mean much. It's up to you on how much effort you put into it. And I think to me the key is, are you just selling, or do you have a team? As well as if you're getting 20 leads a week, you can't sit there and keep on following up with the same person. It keeps on blowing you off after 2 or 3 weeks because you're just overwhelmed with the appointments you're already getting.
Perfect. And is it fair to say until you get a resolution on that lead, it's never dead because you're going to put it in a door knock file? So if they don't answer the phone, you're going to knock on that door or leave a call slip on it.
That is correct.
Perfect.
But I would love to do some, I don't know if people out there have some questions on in-house or appointment setting. I mean, it's 11:30, give or take. I'm good till at least you guys are good till. I don't know if that would benefit some people.
I'm getting, can we hear his sample of his of his phone call of when you're setting appointments and a typical appointment? So yeah, I'll be careful to guard your time because yeah, these agents, we are now creeping up over 44 states. So we're not in all 50 states yet, but I'm getting there. We've got it from Hawaii to Texas to Florida to Massachusetts to Maine. So it's fun up in Michigan. But so yeah, they'll suck you dry, brother. So I won't let them do that. But would you kind of give an overview of how a typical appointment go, or excuse me, a typical phone call goes when you're trying to set the appointment?
Will do. Now you all have to understand, it has to be you. What I mean by that is what you are comfortable with. I have agents who are comfortable asking medical questions. They want to know prescriptions, anything major in the past. You know, they want to basically lock down what they're going to do before they get there. I am very, very opposite of that. I really don't care what you have. I know we have the products to cover you, so I just want the appointment. I'm very confident that with the appointment I will get the sale. And that's what I track mostly is my appointments. I want to sit on 50 a month. I can't sit on that much if I take too long on the phone. So that's, I'll use Kathy for instance. So it's ring, ring, ring. Hey, Kathy, my name is Joshua Sivak. I'm from the Mortgage Protection Center in Virginia Beach. I was giving you a call. I received a letter emailed back into us regarding the mortgage protection for your Wells Fargo loan of $123,000. Now, Kathy, you put down here that your birth date is December 9th, 1971. You're about 5'4", 110 pounds, and a non-smoker. You put down, or you left the spouse blank, so I'm assuming it's just you, Kathy. They're going to answer yes or no on that one. They answer no, great. Now, I'm the one they assigned to you. I am your field underwriter. I'm going to be out in that zip code tomorrow and Saturday. Now, Kathy, you have down here after 4 is usually the best time to call you. Now, I'm assuming you don't get in from work till after 4. Now, I can either do between 5 and 6, or if you want to do a little bit later, around 7. That's basically it. Sometimes they don't have, the best time to call them. So, hey, Kathy, what time did you get home from work? I like that question a lot because most people are not going to think about it. They're just going to answer it. I get home at 5. Okay. So any reason you won't be in tomorrow around 6? And whatever time they pick for me, I will tell them, okay, I'll be there between 6 and 7. I want that hour leeway because historically for myself, I run late for everybody. So I'd rather have that hour leeway just in case I'm running late. I can't have them jumping all over my back. Now, the other one I said earlier, what I've heard other agents do is after verifying the information on the lead, I'll go ahead and start. Okay, Kathy, you any type of medication, anything for blood pressure, diabetes, you had anything major in the past, heart attack, stroke, cancer, and they'll answer it. All right, if you can you have your medications handy? That'll help speed up the process. And, again, my name is Josh. I'll be there tomorrow at 6. So it boils down to what you prefer, preference-wise. If you're an agent that needs or wants that information up front, by all means ask it. You may not, you may have more pushback. People may question you more because I just want to get on the phone, and by the time they get off the phone, after that minute, they may be like, okay, just not they're setting an appointment. They're going to be home, just not thinking, oh, wait, what's going on? There's so many things you can do on these. You can ask them, hey, can you have a mortgage statement ready for me? There's just so much you can do to just solidify it. Hey, your address is 1234 Main Street. What time did I say again? And they repeat the time you told them. So just, I know Tim and Gordon Agency, they have a lot of stuff online for you. Pick that stuff up. That'll be perfect for you. Now, I'm a quick jump into, I'm so good. I heard a beeping.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about being on my cell phone. I'm going to get calls in, but please disregard.
All right, we'll do. So I'm a quick jump into the in-house. And again, there's so many ways to do in-house. You all have to figure out what your way is. If your way, for instance, you want to give 3 prices and let them pick one. I've always been a one price type of guy. I like to give one and let them, I just look at their body language, get feedback from them. I want to see basically what they do before, and then off of that, I can go ahead and maneuver and do other stuff. So let's go to the in-house. Knock on the door, hand them a letter. What's taught is you all get to a table, kitchen table, dining room table, whatever it is. It's always been taught that way. People make decisions at tables. I'm being transparent here. I don't care where I sit. It can be a sofa. As long as I'm comfortable and they're comfortable, I am good. But you guys do want to try to get to the table because, again, they make their decisions there. And I always show them the letter. I slide it across the table. They look at it. This is one of the keys for me is I need a reason why they mailed it in. If I can find a reason why they sent it in, then I know I can do my job and protect that family. Because if a person turns around at me and says, I don't know why I mailed it in, or, I got it in the mail, I just sent it back to you, or who knows what people say. It's going to be more difficult to convince them, and now I'm using the word convince because they are going to have to be convinced on what you're doing or what they need. But if they turn around and say, hey, I want to make sure in case I die, my wife's taken care of, or, hey, in case I got hurt, I'll make sure disability, or, hey, I'd like this return of premium. That's ammunition for you just to focus on. And most of the time, and I tell people this, 95% of the time, Kathy, people's main concern is to cover them in case they die. They want to make sure the house is taken care of so the loved ones get the largest asset that they are paying on. And most people will say in case they die, they want it covered. And again, there's a lot of different techniques you can do here. I know a gentleman who is very successful. He likes to do an open close at this point, and what he does is he talks about accidental insurance, kind of gets the feel for people if they like it or don't like it, if they have any, and he'll do an open close and see if he can basically sell them accidental before anything gets started, and that he can then judge what the rest of the appointment is going to be like. Because if they purchase that, it's going to be easy. If they don't, and they start throwing back kickback, now he knows what he has to just try to overcome by the time he gets down to the end. So again, you have to physically, Kathy, find the method you want to do, or what is your method. What is your personality? What you can do each and every house. If it is you use that flip chart, so you stay on track, make sure you hit all the certain things. If it's you giving the 3 prices, you have to make sure you do the same thing in each house, because then you're going to get consistent, and that's where the success is going to implode on you, or explode, whichever one. But that's where it's just going to take over, and it's just going to become autopilot, where every week you're just doing the same thing, and you're just helping the people. I physically don't track income, production. I track trip credits, stuff I can win, For instance, Phoenix, you all can win prizes to them. So I'm tracking EAPs to try to win that. And well, I forget the other trips that are coming up for the year. But yeah, you start focusing on that, and then, you know, just crazy. You focus on the minor things, that the income will follow with you. But I wasn't sure if I hit the in-house good enough there. Because I know you all can get objections in the house. Again, Tim, Gordon, they have a phenomenal website. They have all the stuff online for you. And it's just you trying to overcome what it is. I have a lot of different ways I overcome what people tell me in the house, but it's with preference. I know what I say to people, and I'm not sure what all you want me to go over here, Tim.
No, that you're hitting on perfectly. Dixon is asking another question. I want you to address it, kind of go into a little bit more detail of what you just talked about in your in-home. As far as everyone else who's on the call, if you're hearing me, the reason why we use the GoToWebinar platform for our conference calls on Friday as well as Tuesday, but that's more appropriate because that's always a PowerPoint on Tuesday. So it's indeed a webinar. Today's as a conference call is so that you can type in questions. If you undock your question box in the key that you see on your computer, it will allow you to type in questions. So that way we don't have to worry about the poor quality of everyone's mic, and you can just type in the questions, just like we've got 12, 15 agents who've already asked questions. Dixon was asking about those key 15 minutes. I think you've set up perfectly, got the lead in front of somebody. You've got to find out why they sent it in. You've got to find the pain. He had a good question that I want to make sure everyone hears your answer, because it's critical to being able to make this a one and done. When Joshua's as well as mine, our average appointment is less than an hour, and we're walking out typically with 2 applications. And that one and done mentality is only because you're able to protect them with a mortgage protection policy. Now, you're foolish if you're not setting up another follow-up, if they've got, if that's a potential for an IUL or an annuity or a single premium whole life. We don't try to necessarily do those in one and done. But Dixon was asking about, do you ask them to get out their current life policies?
I'm trying to think if he was on the conference calls from before. I know the one of them, I went heavily into that. And by all means, I ask what they have. It's one of the biggest things you have to ask. If you're not asking it, you're just setting yourself up to hit the wall at the end when it comes time down to the making decision. Now, what I mean by that is, they may turn around and say, they have a $140,000 mortgage. Oh, well, I have a $150,000 term policy through State Farm. That's supposed to cover it, or, I have this much through work, or, whatever it is. You want to know that stuff up front, so that when you get down to the end and they try to turn around and use that as a reason not to, you want to be able to hit that as you're talking about it. That $150,000, what's that for? You can ask them. Is that to replace your income? Because they turn around and say, that's to pay off the house. It's like, okay, why am I here then? But yes, by all means, I don't look at everybody's. I will ask them to bring it out if I know there's something wrong with it. And what I mean by wrong with it is what they tell me they have and what they're paying. If you don't know the differences on what people have, if they say they have whole life, they're paying this much, and you can turn around and say, okay, no, that's a UL just based on price. If you don't know that off the top of your head, the more policies you look at, the more times you ask the question, the better you're going to be at it. Like, I am almost dead on now. If someone tells me what they're paying and what they have, I can tell them if they're wrong or not. And I would only ask them to pull it out if basically it's wrong. They're saying they got this. Like, an eagle's an eagle, but they say they got the eagle, but what they're paying for is a pig. I'd be like, okay, no, there's something wrong here. And this is where a lot of my credibility comes in too with folks. is if they tell me they got one thing, and I'll basically tell them, no, you don't got a whole life, you got a universal life, or your policy will say flexible premium adjustable life. And if you can pinpoint before they even show you it, your credibility is through the roof. People, they know you're really good at what you do, and they basically will take your advice on it. But yes, I think the name was David. But yes, I will always look at them. And I always make sure in the beginning, ask them if they're smokers or not, as well as what type of medications they are, any major medical. Again, you want to make sure you hit everything you need to, so when the time comes, you give the price and stuff, nothing's going to change on it. They're not, you're not going to be filling in the app, and they're going to turn around and say, oh, I have hepatitis C, or, oh, I have COPD, I had my kidney removed, or I have liver failure. Will that stuff happen? Yes. You're not going to sit there and ask them every question possible to cover it all. And some people don't think that stuff's major, so they won't tell you. So you occasionally, throughout the year, you're going to have someone that's going to surprise you when you're doing the application. But for the most part, when you ask the questions up front, people will tell you.
Address the, we've got a question about fully underwritten, and you might be competing against a fully underwritten. How do you compete against that? Because I know neither one of us are at all fond of the FU policies, but what do you do typically when they are just pretty emphatic of saying, well, I can get this amount of coverage for this price, and it's fully underwritten?
In that scenario, again, you got to be through this a lot of times for you to get really good at it. And you should be able to turn around and tell people, if they're overweight, don't be bashful. Tell them, you're overweight. Your body size is not going to get you that price. You don't believe me? Here's Mutual of Omaha's height and weight guidelines. Mutual of Omaha, right? Yet, look, they put you at a +2, or I forget how it works, or you weigh more than their standard, which means you're not going to get that preferred rating. And what I basically go with for folks is, everybody's familiar with Black Friday. Well, that's what insurance agents are when it comes to fully underwritten. It's Black Friday. They will tell you the cheapest price possible. And if it makes you feel better, David, I can go ahead and tell you it's $20 if you want me to. It's not going to be $20, but if that makes you feel a lot better for you to do this, I'll go ahead and tell you it's 20. It's going to come out higher, and that's what they do. They give you that low price that very few people get. I don't know what percentage it is, maybe 5% or lower, but you have to be healthy. Your parents had to be healthy. You can't be on medication. Your height to weight has to be good. Your driving record has to be flawless. All kinds of stuff will go into that. And most people know that, when companies send out the nurse to do a physical, I call them a vampire because they want to take a pint out of you, that they're doing that for one purpose only, to raise your price. That's all they're doing. I don't care if people, no, they're doing that to make my price cheaper. No, they're not. Why do you think they run 128 different tests on that stuff? They're trying to find something wrong with you so they can charge you more. And we are so thankful that we have Phoenix. Because Phoenix competes very well with that stuff. And even at the worst case scenario, if someone comes in and does lowball somebody, I guarantee you they're not getting the chronic critical terminal for free included with that policy.
Perfect.
And that is a huge difference. I can't tell you how many policies I replaced or I wrote over fully underwritten somebody else's just because of how that is set up. The chronic critical terminal are phenomenal add-ons. When I talk about them, I focus heavily on that. So
absolutely.
I was hoping
perfect. Perfect.
Hoping that hit home. And going back to my in-house, you all also have to find out why or who gets the house if they die. That's another big thing. Because if it's their daughter, this is where you can, especially if the daughter is living with them, because, they're living with you for one or two reasons. Either one, you need someone to live with you, which most of the time if you just refinance or bought a house, that's not the case. Or two, they need a place to live and they're living with you. So if they're living with you, which is majority of the time, why? Because they're broke or went through something. Most likely their credit's not the best. And do you know, David, that if you die and your daughter inherits it, she has to take out a loan in her name. Just because there's you have your own loan or your own mortgage, that lender gave it to you, not your daughter. So the lender is going to expect your daughter to pay it off. If she doesn't, that's when the lender takes the house back after X amount of days. And if your daughter's credit's not good enough, which I'm assuming it's not, you can ask them, and most people will tell you it's not, then that means that she is going to have to figure something out quickly. And that's just something you could use. Say a person's on the fence, it's just, there's so much there. I mean, I could probably do a 5-hour call in-house, all the stuff you can say or pick up on. It is definitely crazy.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, Josh, you've been very generous with your time. I've got a few other questions I will answer offline, but I'm going to let you get back, guys. Because of Joshua's creating a lifestyle, you may have heard one of his youngest agents in the background. I don't know how Christian has been so quiet, Josh, but Josh is actually at home with what is Christian, 2.5? He's not 3, is he?
He's 29 months.
Okay,
so he's getting close to 2.5.
Yeah, so that's his youngest agent you hear in the background, or you did, gosh, 20 minutes ago. Did you give him a popsicle to suck on or something, Josh? I mean, he's been completely quiet.
He's not feeling good. He's supposed to, we have him in preschool today. He's home, so that's why I'm here.
Aww.
And he's watching Little Einstein and playing with his toys. I kept going in and out, checking on him, making sure everything was good. But like Tim was saying, you can create the lifestyle where you can be home. If you want the 3-day week, and you can make it happen. If you want to travel, you want to whatever you want to do. If it's donating, if it's doing food drives, whatever you want to do, you can create it and do it. So that's a huge plus in our industry, being able to do what we need to. Because on any other job, I mean, I call in saying, hey, my 2.5-year-old's sick and I got to be home with them. I may get fired just for that. So it's definitely a blessing.
Absolutely. On probably maybe I will make it our last note, but maybe to hear encouragement from you that I mean, we'll have several agents in one city that and we still want to be able to get them leads, but to maybe encourage the agents not to fear to drive 2 or 3 or 4 hours in one direction. Josh and I have a good friend of ours, Chris Lewis, down in Dallas, Texas. He drives one way, and Chris is a phenomenal producer, and Chris will drive 4 hours one direction. He's in Dallas, Texas. He could get all the leads he could ever want, but he drives to basically what we call a sweet spot, where he's getting 10 to 15 leads per week. Chris, in personal production last year, did over $300,000. That is phenomenal, guys. And I lost Joshua, but that's our personal friend running business down in Dallas, Texas. So let me take this moment just to encourage you. Don't be afraid to drive. I've got Josh back. Did Christian hang up on us, Josh?
I don't know what happened there. I picked him up because he wanted to get a snack, and I put him down, and I just heard my phone beep. I'm like, uh-oh.
But I was going to let you just maybe make that encouragement or send out that encouragement to everyone, kind of as our close, and then I'll close this. But as far as being able to drive a little bit of a distance.
Let's see, I've been doing this almost 10 years, and I live in Virginia. I grew up in PA, and I would drive about 65 miles to Philly a couple times to run, and I did my first work trip was down to Virginia Beach, which was a 6-hour trip, and I moved down here, and since being in Virginia Beach, I have driven up to DC multiple times. I've flown to Maine to run appointments. I've driven to Massachusetts. I've flown out to Hawaii, Oregon. So, I mean, if you find a place, like he was mentioning Chris Lewis, if you can find a place where there's a honey hole that people just get along with you. It could be the country, it could be outside the city, and you just get enough leads week in, week out, where you're just phenomenal, and your closing ratio is 80 or 90. Who cares about the drive? I mean, again, let's say even if you're just writing 20,000 a month, you got to drive 2 hours one way, 3 days a week just to run them. If the income is there, who cares? So do not be afraid. And plus, once you get away from your backyard, it makes it a lot harder for you to call it quits earlier. Because, you could go out there, write 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 in the morning off of your first few appointments and have 4 more left in the evening and be like, okay, I'm done. I got mine for the day. But by all means, don't be afraid of that. Embrace it. If you haven't tried it, go for it. Just see if you can find a place where you can go run, get some bee leads or something. Go run out there, because if you can find that spot where people get along with you better, or you might just sell better, trust me, they are there. Mine, I have a spot that's a good hour away that every time I go there, I basically sell everybody. So they're there. You just look for them, and don't be afraid. But Sam, I appreciate it. Thankful that you go ahead and let me on here, try to pass on some of the stuff that I've learned over the years, I've been taught, and I just definitely hope it helps everybody on the call. If you guys have any questions afterwards, feel free to email Tim. He'll go ahead and get us connected, and we'll do our best to go ahead and help you out.
Joshua, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you, my friend. I look forward to talking to you a little bit later. Guys, there you go. Everything that you hear from me reiterated by one of the elite producers in the nation, but he's not doing anything that you can't do. I don't want to sound like too much of a broken record, but he is not doing anything. He's working 2 to 3 days a week, guys. Hey, just a couple notes. We have so many folks. It's exciting to see. Now, depending on your agency, you may have a $40,000 bogey of issue paid premium by the end of March in order to qualify for our Las Vegas trip. But most of you are on just a $20,000 issue paid premium from January 1 to March 31st. And we will send you vouchers for you to coordinate a trip to like 7 or 8 different hotels that you can choose for a couple days, airfare and hotel included, out to Las Vegas. And you don't have to be a heathen to go out to Las Vegas. I've been there. I enjoyed it. There's plenty of nice things to do too, besides the goofy flyers that you'll be handed. If you haven't been to Las Vegas, you've got to make it. You've got to make it at least once. And emphasize, there are 3 things that I close every webinar, every conference call with. I want you to be an agent who's making it happen. If you will be an agent who's making it happen, you will blow up your income. And number 2, you will tremendously bless your family, not just with income, but with your presence, with your attitude, with a lifestyle. And number 3, matter of fact, I always say, if you take care of number 3, the first 2 are always taken care of. So if you go out and be an agent who is making it happen with those families that you're sitting with, the first 2 are always taken care of. Make sure you connect on Tuesday. We're going to go and drill down how to build I don't know how else to describe it other than saying that I want it to be a lead order that produces income. You don't need to just kiss your cousin with your lead order. You need to have a lead order and where you're getting the leads, what type of leads you're getting, etc. We will drill that down on Tuesday, talking about how to have a lead order that will produce you income. Guys, have a phenomenal weekend. Go out and protect some families. And as always, I will wish you God's blessing on you and your family. You make a difference. God bless you.